Hi and welcome to Let's Talk About Writing. And today I have a special guest, Terry. Hi, Terry. Welcome.
Hi, Adelia. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yes. Well,
So,
thank you for inviting me. I look forward to
you're wel-
talking with you and sharing with your listeners.
yeah, so today we are going to share about your book, and it's a conversation, to talk about writing and books and everything about your book and your adventure as a writer. So
Okay.
my first question is, first of all, can you show us your book? Ooh, True Purpose. Ooh, I love
Finding true purpose.
amazing.
Thank
With
you.
a beautiful picture. Um, so tell us a little bit about when did you start writing your book?
Let's see. I started writing the book probably around like 2019 or so. Definitely before the pandemic. And it was not. It's not something I how do I say this? And it's not something that I've always wanted to do.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to write a book or I have to write a book or I want to be an author and I want to be published. And it just kind of came about organically. And I met my writing coach at an event, and she was listening to my story and said, you really do have a book there. And she said, whether you go to publish or not, let's work and get together and let's work toward writing your story. And what I found through the writing of my story was that, and this is something I work with my own clients. As we're growing up, we get repeated messages that I like to say is written on the whiteboard of our life. And as any good presenter knows, although I'm not sure how many use whiteboards anymore, but the more you write on a whiteboard, when you erase it, you can still see the message.
yeah.
So I got this message when I was, 6 or 7. I got the same message in grammar school and in high school and at my first job. And you take this with you throughout your life. And through the writing of my book, I was able to unravel my story, which is something that all of us have, that it keeps us from being who we are meant to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, do you
that
want
was
to share about your message? What was your message? You said,
the message that I kept receiving was that I was not good enough to be a friend, just who I am.
"Oh wow,
But I could buy my way into community.
oh
And
wow,
the first story that I told and I wrote about was, um, growing up. My family always went to a lake. We rented a house for a week, and we were at the lake house. And my sister had a friend there. She was 2 years older than me. She had a friend there who had a boat, so they would go out on the lake. And the only way I could go with them, because, who wants their little sister tagging along, was
yeah,
if I bought lunch or if I bought a tank of gas. Then they would let me come with them. So I had to buy my way into that relationship.
oh wow,
So, and I got the same type of message in grammar school and in high school. And my one of my first jobs, when I was promoted from secretary to a vice president to the assistant to the CEO, He literally said to me, everyone is going to want to be your friend, but only because you work for me.
Oh, wow.
So, because of the message I had received over my lifetime, it was like, well,
Yeah,
yeah, sure,
sure. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh,
And,
my goodness.
I found myself just before, as I was writing the book, I was at a conference, and it was one of those very hard upsells. You take this training, and they want you to stay involved, and it's a very hard upsell, and you have to get your application in before the next break, and on and on. And I found myself sitting at this table. I was actually in Atlanta, Georgia, of all places, trying to figure out, okay, how can I afford this? If I take part of my pension that I get every month, and I can afford this, and I can put it on this credit card or that credit card. And I just went, whoa, I'm doing it again.
Yeah,
I'm trying to buy my way into
yeah,
this community.
yeah,
I have not paid for another training since then.
yeah. That exactly. Not exactly, but really, it remind me a lot of things you're sharing right now. Thank you so much. I think I had the same problem, and that's why I wanted to write a book. But it was like since I was really young. But my
Mm.
message was, you are not good enough. Like you did a lot, and it's okay, but it's not good enough. You can do better. You are smarter.
Many of us get that message. You're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or why can't you
Oh
be
no,
like your sister or
pretty.
your
I
brother?
didn't. Yeah, pretty.
Exactly.
I didn't have that. Pretty was like, you are so pretty that, yeah. For that we were good, but for all the other stuff, I grew up in a time when we didn't know about ADHD and all that, So
Right. Yeah.
anyway,
My sister was very pretty and long, straight blonde hair and very outgoing and had all these friends. I'm a high introvert. Now, growing up, I had no idea I had never heard that word before.
yeah,
So I was much more content sitting in a corner reading a book. I
yeah,
had friends in my book.
me
They
too. Me,
waited for me to start the party.
yeah,
It's like, why can't you be like your sister? Because I'm not my sister. So working with the clients that I work with now, let's make you more aware of what you're saying to your young ones, so that you don't start writing that message on their whiteboard.
yeah. And what do you do now? I know what you're doing, but you are just talking about your client, so I want you to clarify what.
Yeah, what I do is I help women unravel their stories, and I do that here at my ranch. It's called Begin Again Ranch. You can find out all about it at beginagainranch.com. And we partner with my horses. So it's a coaching session partnering with the horses. And we unravel your stories. And, I may have a thought in mind of what we're going to work on when you come out to the ranch. But because of what you say and how the horses are reacting to you, we may make a left turn and just go in a whole different direction. And that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
not stuck on my agenda. It's we
So
just see what
let's go back to the book. So you decided to write a book in 2019?
I think 19. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long it takes you? Like, it was a long process, or it take like,
It took me about a year.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it took me about a year. And what I found, what worked for me,
Yeah.
because when we're in our home environment, there are so many things that we can use to distract ourselves and not have to deal with writing the stories or writing the chapter, or and I never I never gave myself, you must write 5,000 words a day. That
No,
does not work for me.
no, no, no. We don't do
But,
that. No.
but what I did was I would book a study room at my local library twice a week for 2 hours.
Nice.
And
Good.
I would go to the library and I would do, whatever research I needed to do, or, whatever story. And I would just sit in that room. And if I got stuck, or if I got, why am I doing this? All I had to do was look out the glass windows and see all of those books through the library and say, if they did it, I can do it too.
Yeah. And let me tell you a story.
Yes.
I do the same. I'm writing my books at the library. So, and one of them, two of them, or one of them, I'm not sure actually, but my books are in the library. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my first book is upstairs, my second book is here, and I'm writing another one. So yeah, so
Exactly. And it just makes you feel so good. And I
it's
went in, and they tore down the old library. I'm not sure why. It really wasn't that old. But anyway, when the new library opened, I went up to the memoir section and I found my book. So I have a picture of me at the library with my,
yes,
and what I found there was in the book was, like a store receipt. And I looked at it and it was like, okay, what is this? So I took it to the librarian and I said, what is this? And she said, oh, that's a someone took out the book. And I was like, oh my God, someone I don't know actually recently
yes,
took out my
yes,
book.
I know. It's so amazing. I love it.
It
Yeah,
is. I have that receipt hanging up on my board. It's like,
good. So the first 1 year, it's amazing. You know, it took me 10 for mine.
okay. And it takes as long as it takes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, it doesn't matter. And one of the things that my editor, who actually was my coach, and then she was my editor, so it's good to stay. I mean, I didn't go looking for an editor because she knew what I was writing about. She knew,
Good.
so it wasn't too bad. And then also, um, how she usually works is that she takes the manuscripts, she edits it, and then she sends it back to you. Well, by working with me, she knew that wasn't going to work. So she had to change her thought process to meet mine. I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor, so I have to compartmentalize things. So she would edit and send back to me one chapter at a time. And
Nice.
she wouldn't send me the next chapter until I sent that back to her. Because
Mm.
she knew if she sent me the whole thing, there were pieces of the story
Oh, that's how I
any
do
of
that
us
too.
that you didn't want to look at again.
No, and that's what I do too. I think it's when I'm coaching someone to write, that's what we do. And it's more a discussion and question, and
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
and there have
But
been times when I've gone back and I've read like different pieces of the book, and it was like, oh, she must have rewritten this because this is really good. And I would ask her, and she was like, no, I didn't touch that piece. You did it.
oh my
I did
god, this is so fun.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
so what are you sharing in your book? You're sharing your your story,
I'm
right?
I'm sharing my life story, how I went from, let's see, it's finding true purpose, life beyond the castle. And the life beyond the castle refers to, I spent more than a decade at the top of the castle at the Walt Disney Company. So I was at the top echelon of corporate America for more than a decade. And through a series of events, it was just like, okay, I don't belong here anymore. The boss who I had worked with for 13 years, he decided to go back into private law practice, and I didn't want to. So it kind of forced me into, going in a completely different direction and becoming a life coach and working with the horses. So
Oh,
that's my true purpose, is helping other women figure out what their true purpose is.
wow. So amazing. This is so amazing. Oh wow, I love it. And so what did you first of all, I think it was first of all for you, no? when you wrote the book? It was for you, or it was just for other people to know the story?
When I first started, it was just for me. I didn't know how I didn't know the unraveling of my story was going to happen. It was just I've had interesting chapters in my life, so let's write that all out. And then, by working with a coach, which I do highly recommend. I know that's what you do and that's what you
Yeah,
specialize in,
yes, that's what I do.
just to help you figure out, and you may write the whole thing and decide not to publish. That's okay.
Absolutely.
But get it down, get it out. You may not do memoir. You may do, you may have this fabulous fiction in you. I'm dabbling in fiction. I'm not comfortable with it yet, but I'm working on that. And then my second book, which I'm working on now, is I believe I've made up the a new genre. It's called fictional memoir.
Oh, that's what I did. I did too.
Okay.
For my second book, no, not my second book, my second memoir. That's what I did, and it's totally okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and what it is it starts out with me in a nursing home, in an assisted living facility. And I go back to tell you how I got there and what happens afterwards. So it hasn't happened yet. So that's why I call it fictional memoir, but it is my story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
And what I figure is that as I go through this stage of my life and things start happening that I've already written about, I can say, "Oh, I know what to do. I wrote about this. I know how to handle this. I wrote about this."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of the things that has had gotten me stuck over this last uh, half year or so, the Bodie, the horse on my cover, he passed away in July, so I lost
Oh,
my
sorry.
horse. And then the beginning of this year, we lost two of our dogs.
Oh my goodness me.
So it's like, okay, I haven't written about this yet. It's not supposed to be happening. So I kind of had to, I just, I couldn't get myself to sit back down and write. And I'm breaking through that right now. So
It's
it's,
okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It takes as long as it takes, and that's fine.
I love to write about what already happened in my life, but I did. So I finished writing another memoir long time ago, and yes, it's a fictional memoir because some parts are not true, like
Hmm.
not accurate. But actually, I do have a writing coach too, an editor, a writing coach, and mentor. And I used to have someone, and he told me, I told him, I just invented some part of the book, and it was like they are so good. You need to write fiction. And like seriously, I'm an expert in memoir. It's like no, it's so good, and I decided to do that because I felt like the manuscript needed that. You
Ah,
know, the manuscript just needed that part of the story, and it was so amazing. And I didn't publish it,
it
but
happens.
and I don't want to publish right now, but I have my reason. But I really believe in that. What you are saying that is just for first of all, and that's what I teach people. It's like first of all, it's for you guys. First of all, it's for you, and then we need to write to work with an editor or a coach, and it doesn't need to be me. you know, it's super personal. It needs to be a really good feeling about that, and a really good. But don't give up on an editor, please, please, please. Like editor is crucial to have an
Oh yeah.
editor. Yeah,
Oh,
crucial. So,
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there was quite a
but
quite a lot of what I appreciated about my editor at the time was she never said you can't write that. I mean, there are certain Disney parts that I had to have looked at by a lawyer just because of
yeah,
where I was in the company, and she said, well, you can't She never said you can't write that. She would say, "Do you really want
Want
want it to get out? And
absolutely.
do you need you wrote it. You got it out of yourself.
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
you need that in the final work? Because
Absolutely.
so I mean it's like oh yeah, And there were some times when I kind of got, pissy about it and said, "But it's my story and I should be able to tell it."
I know I did the same, Terry. It's so funny. I did the same, but you know what I did? I did after that. I rewrote the whole book to be okay. I did it for me. Now let's invite the reader inside. And so sometimes we need that process. It's a process, right?
Yes.
And at the beginning it's like it's my story and I do it how I want, but then you're like, okay, I did it for me, I went through that process of forgiveness and whatever I needed, and it actually transformed my life. But now I'm like, okay, let's people in. And so
Mhm.
you need to change some stuff. You need to, but not change your voice. But
Yeah.
like I say to people who want to write, and I had to say no to a lot of people in like few months ago because I wanted to write books to be mean to other people and to be really, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So go to a therapist
Mm.
before you come to me, or go to a life coach, or go to whatever you want. I'm doing a lot of coaching, like life coaching, a lot of stuff into my writing coaching. And people say it's not just writing coaching, but I'm like, I cannot deal with people who are here to hurt other people. No, thank you. I don't want that. Go to Terry. Go to, go to, go to someone. I don't know, but yeah, but I was in the same place of I don't care, it's my story. And I remember when my coach in Israel, he was like, you need to delete that from your book. And I start crying. I'm like, what, delete it? I'm like, it took me months, I cried all day. And he's like,
But
and
it
then
was your therapy.
yeah, but what he said, and I want to share with everyone because I think it's really important. It says that when you already wrote that piece, it will still impact your life, your story, and your manuscript. Even so, you are not, it won't be in your story. First of all, we don't need to delete. We can just cut and put that somewhere else for another book. But it's already impacted. It already did what it has to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that I say about a really good editor, and I'm sure you fit into that category. I didn't get a chance to work with you on my first book, but maybe my second,
Yeah.
um, was she would see me standing on the ledge. You know how you stand on the ledge ready to jump out, saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to write this. I'm done. That's it. Fine.
Yeah,
She wouldn't pull me back from the ledge. She would sit on the ledge with me
I do the same.
and then talk it through. And
Yeah,
what do you think? And is it okay? And do
yeah,
you want to come back in the room now?
yeah. I
So
do the same.
it wasn't just a, pull you back in and get you off the ledge. It was a, okay, now let's explain, let's figure out where
Yeah,
this is coming from.
what's going on?
Part of
Yeah,
my story. Part of my story.
yeah. It's amazing, and I think it's really important. And it took me a long time to find for my book to find the right editor, and that really won't change my voice. Like
Hmm.
I understand that we need to let the reader in, and we need to accommodate some time, and it's okay. After we went through the process, we need to go. But she didn't change my voice, and I'm like, I won't let you change. Like she was amazing for that. So I'm happy to hear that you had the same experience because it's really rare, I think,
Yeah.
for authors right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good thing. And just, just by writing my book, as I said, I was able to unravel my own stories.
yes.
And my editor encouraged me to put the book into the SIPA Awards, the Colorado Independent Publishing
Uh-huh.
Association
I saw
Awards.
that, I remember.
And Um, I was one of the five finalists in memoir, and I
Wow.
said to her, and I said, "Oh, well," I said, "that's, how many, submissions are there? Like maybe 10?" And she was like, "Oh my God, no." She said, "Memoir is the most." She said, "There are like at least
A lot.
200." And I was like, "Oh my God, and I'm in the top 5?" She
It's
said, "Yeah."
amazing.
And we went to the awards dinner, and um, what part of my story is, I'm never included. So it didn't even occur to me that I might come in first. So I had on all silver jewelry, I had on silver nail polish, and I came in second.
Wow.
Second is silver, but it was just like, of course I wasn't going to get first. It was part of my story. It's still, and I still get triggered, but at
Yeah.
least I'm aware of the triggers.
Yeah.
And that's what I help with my clients is you're not going to change overnight, but you're going to become
No.
aware of it, and you can change your automatic reaction
Absolutely.
to a conscious response.
Wow.
And you
That is
just
so
you, you
important.
just change your entire life by just shifting.
But it's actually the only thing we can do. There, how to react. All the other stuff we cannot control, but we can choose how to react. And I think it's a really, really important thing to remember.
Yeah, yeah, you
Um,
have that automatic reaction, and if you just step back, take a minute, feel, oh my God, here it is, it's my trigger.
yeah.
I'm going to respond differently and see what happens.
And we have so much. Oh my goodness
Yeah,
me. I can give you a list of all the trigger I took care in the last few years. It's like it's crazy. And
yeah,
I'm still working on it.
yeah. And I mean, writing an award-winning book, I still get triggered. It's like, two friends of mine said, "Oh, we went out for a hike, last weekend." And it was like, "Well, why didn't
What
you ask
about me?
me?" Yeah, and do I still get triggered? But my response was, "Oh, great, that's wonderful. I hope you had a nice time. Next time you go, let me know. I'd like to go with you."
Yeah.
Where in the past, it would have been just an automatic, of course I wasn't invited. Well, like, wait a minute, change your response and say, "Yo, whack you upside the head. Why didn't you ask me? I'll go."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
just change your
So
response. Yeah.
so how do you think that your book is helping other people when they are reading your book?
I think, well, my intent is for them to see that in the different stages of my life and what I went through, how I got to my true purpose, finding my true purpose by unraveling my stories. And you can too. So, what's your story? Let's figure it out. Is it serving you? Sometimes your story is a protective. You grew up in a harsh environment or something, and your story was, I have to make myself really small so that, the bad man, I'm not going to say mom, dad, or boyfriend or whatever,
Mm,
doesn't see me, but you've taken that into your adult life and you're still small. It's not serving you anymore. It did protect you. Thank you very much. Let's unravel the story so that you can actually shine.
wow. So amazing. Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness. I love it. So what is the next book, Terry? Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
The next book, as I said, it's a fictional memoir, and I'm writing it. I'm doing different places. Um, One of the things that I've recently written, which I shared with a group of writer friends, and I had them all in tears, which is actually a good thing in this case. But I wrote the chapter of my own death.
Oh,
And it was so lovely that I really hope this happens.
oh my goodness. Oh
So,
God.
but they were all like, "Oh my God, oh yeah." And it was just so really beautiful. And what I'm exploring, like instead of going back and going through the loss of my husband, the loss of the horses, the loss of the ranch, the loss of, perhaps um, I'm going to take it. Okay, my host body is dead, but my energetic spirit, my spirituality, my energy lives on. And what does that look like on the other side of the veil? So that's what I'm writing about now, and it's amazing how I'm getting um, downloads from my higher self and and others, who have already crossed, who are there to help me write. So
Mhm.
it's like it's a very interesting experience.
Wow. Sounds amazing. And do
Thanks.
you have a title?
No,
Title?
no title yet. No title yet. And
Just starting?
just yeah,
Oh, wow.
I've got a couple of different pieces of chapters written.
Nice.
But since losing, the horse and the two dogs, and it was just like I think I want to go in a different direction because at the moment it seems less painful,
Hmm.
but that doesn't mean I shouldn't, write the painful parts too. So I'm kind of, yeah.
Remind me of so many stories, but I love that so much because I'm really into capturing legacy from people before it's too late, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, just capture something before it's too late. So yeah,
Well, exactly. And I've had the wonderful opportunity is last year I was a contestant in the Miss Colorado Senior America pageant.
yeah, I remember.
And because of that, as a contestant, I am a member of what we call the Cameo Club. And what we do is we go to different assisted nursing facilities, and we put on a show. And what I do, since I don't dance or sing, or maybe a little dance, but anyway, I do an inspirational talk, and it's about unraveling your stories.
Oh
And I
wow,
don't say before it's too late because, everyone is already in the assisted living facility. But at the last showcase, I said, just we have more in common than we think we do.
absolutely.
I invite you all when you go to dinner tonight, share a story.
Yeah, yeah.
Let your friends know about what something amazing that you did when you were younger or whatever. And what I usually do, if someone in the audience asks, because I always say that one of my stories is that, stop talking. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say, which was a side story for me. But it's like, and now I'm an award-winning author. So one of the women in the group said, she goes, well, can you tell us the name of your book? And I said, the name of the book is Finding True Purpose. And I said, and I will give this to you. Please share it with everybody else. So I usually give out a book or two at each of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
just so they can, see what it's like.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
So amazing. So have a great day, and I had a great time. Let's talk about writing. Super important.
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's just for yourself or, just journaling or getting your feelings out, especially in this crazy world we live in now, just, get it out. Don't carry it around with you and just, go back and just let it out, write it out, walk away, then go back and read it and
Oh,
see,
burn it.
or read it. If you need to burn it, absolutely. That's absolutely. You want to write that nasty, scathing, awful letter to an ex, have at it. Burn it. Don't send it.
Yeah. No. 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 No.
Don't send it. Burn it. Get it
Okay, because
out of your energetic
yeah,
system and
absolutely. And I do believe that we need to do that for, yes, if we burn it or we do whatever with it, yes, do it. I did it for long, for so many people. So
Mhm.
yes, for sure. But yeah, and I think that freedom, that freedom, yeah, you're offering, and I'm offering in what we are doing when we are guiding people, is that it's a safe place to
Right.
be, to feel what you have to feel. So it's really different,
Absolutely.
different from what I do. For, it's not really different, but it's like more freedom to just write whatever and burn
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And working with you or working with me, there's no judgment. So
No,
whatever you've been through, gone through, thought, done, there's no judgment. We're here to support you and help you unravel what's going on and let's make the rest of the chapters of your life even better.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, Terry, thank you so much. So I
Sure.
will, it was really great to talk with you today.
I
Thank you.
appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Bye.